At my own birthday dinner, my mom whispered to my brother, "While everyone's here, go, change her locks." He did, and what he found at my apartment ended everything. My name is Abigail Larson. I was turning 24. Sitting at a small cafe table in downtown Denver, I had paid for. My mother, Eleanor, sat across from me, smiling like she was proud. My father, Richard, sat beside her, his expression placid. My older brother, Leo, and his wife were there, too. I kept telling myself, this year would be different. I heard the whisper clearly over the clink of silverware. I saw my father nod. "Do it after dessert." He agreed. I froze. My chest felt tight. But I kept smiling. I cut my own birthday cake. A simple vanilla sponge with buttercream frosting, and passed out the plates. Leo stood up, grabbed his keys, and walked out the door. An hour later, he came back. He was pale. He looked sick. My mother leaned in, annoyed. "Well, did you do it?" Leo swallowed. He wouldn't look at me. There's police tape around her door. Every fork stopped. The air went cold. My phone buzzed on the table. A text message lit up the screen. *Ms. Larson. This is Officer Miller from the Denver PD. Please contact us immediately regarding your apartment. My mother wanted to lock me out. Instead, she had just unlocked the truth. I didn't say goodbye. I didn't look at my mother's face. I stood up from the table, my own birthday cake still on my plate, and walked out. The little bell on the cafe door tinkled. A cheerful sound in a terrible moment. The Denver air was cold and dry. It started to snow. Tiny, hard flakes that hit my face and mixed with the tears I refused to let fall. My hands were shaking so badly I dropped my keys twice before I could unlock my car. I pulled out onto the street, my mind blank with shock. Go change her locks. Why? Why would she do that? I wasn't a rebellious teenager. I was 24 years old. I had a job. I paid my own bills. But, in her eyes, I was still a child. A problem to be managed. My wipers swiped back and forth. Thwack. Twack. Twack. The sound was like a clock counting down. I drove too fast. Running a yellow light that was almost red, the city lights blurred through the falling snow. I kept thinking about Leo, my older brother. He always did what she said. Always. He was the good son. I was the difficult daughter. He got praise. I got my locks changed on my birthday. When I gave them a spare key, it was for emergencies. I thought it was a key of trust. I was so stupid. For my mother, it was just a key of control. My building was old brick on a quiet downtown street, but it wasn't quiet tonight. I saw the lights from 2 blocks away. Blue and red. Flashing. Turning the snow into colored needles. They were parked right in front. I left my car double parked, the engine still running, and ran onto the sidewalk. A police officer stood near the lobby door. He was young, with a tired face. He stepped forward when he saw me. "Ma'am, can I help you? This is my apartment." I said, my voice shaky. "I'm Abigail Larson. I got a text message." His expression changed. It softened. "Ms. Larson? I'm Officer Miller. He was the one who texted me. Why don't we step under this awning?" "What happened?" I asked. Looking past him at my building's front door, my brother. He came here. He said there was police tape. Officer Miller nodded slowly. He looked uncomfortable. There was an incident. Ma'am, your apartment. Unit 3B. We received a 911 call from a neighbor about a disturbance, a possible break-in. My stomach dropped. A break-in? Did they take anything? That's the strange part, he said, looking at his small, snow-dusted notepad. We did a preliminary sweep. The door was forced. The lock is completely destroyed. But nothing appears to be stolen. Your television, laptop, it's all still there. It doesn't look like a robbery. I leaned against the brick wall. The cold seeped through my jacket. My door was forced. Yes. Ma'am, a crowbar. Looks like. We were about to tape it off and wait for you. I stared at him. A crowbar. Leo wouldn't do that. Had the key. My mind was spinning. Officer, I said, trying to keep my voice steady, my brother. Leo Larson. He has a key to my apartment. He came here tonight. Officer Miller frowned. He has a key. Did you ask him to come here? No. My voice was quiet. My mother. She told him to come here, to change my locks, to lock me out. I said it out loud to a stranger. A police officer. The shame burned in my throat. I waited for him to judge me, to ask what I did wrong to make my mother do that. He just looked at me, his eyes clear. She told him to change your locks while you were out. Yes, at my birthday dinner. He was quiet for a long moment. He wrote something in his notepad. Okay, well, we found the door already broken. So, Mr. Larson didn't use his key. If that's what you're thinking, he arrived after the break-in. He's the one who called 911. This was too much. Too many twists. Leo called the police. Head did. He was cooperative. Gave us his statement. Seemed pretty shaken up. Officer Miller looked back toward his cruiser. He said he had a key, but the door was already splintered. He looked inside, saw the mess, and backed out, called us immediately. Where is he now? We sent him home. He said he was going back to the cafe to talk to your mother. Of course he was. He always went back to Mom. I felt a new kind of dread. Someone else broke into my apartment, and my mother sent my brother to walk right into it. So what now, I asked. Can I go up? We need to process the scene first. Ms. Larson, forensics is on their way. We can't let you in just yet. We need to see if they left any prints. I just nodded. Numb. I felt violated. My safe place, the only place in the world that was just mine. Someone had forced their way in. Do you know anyone who would want to hurt you? Ms. Larson Officer Miller asked gently. An ex-boyfriend. A problem at work. No, I said immediately. No one. I go to work. I come home. I don't have enemies. His radio crackled on his shoulder. A woman's voice, full of static. Unit 4. We ran the partial print from the interior door frame. Officer Miller unhooked the radio and held it to his mouth. Go ahead. Dispatch. We've got a tentative match. Subject is known to us. Sending the ID to your terminal. And Miller, the subject is already in custody. Picked up 2 blocks from the scene 30 minutes ago. Acting suspicious. The officer's face tightened. He looked from his radio to his cruiser, and then back to me. His professional calm was gone. Now, he just looked serious. "Ms. Larson," he said, his voice low. "You might want to sit down. This just got complicated." I didn't sit. I couldn't. I just stood there, gripping the strap of my purse, the snowy pavement cold under my thin shoes. What is it?" Officer Miller was looking at the small computer screen in his parked cruiser. He came back over, the blue and red lights flashing across his face. "The fingerprints we found on your bedroom door, they don't belong to you or your brother," he said. "Who do they belong to?" "A man named Todd Bishop." The name hit me like a physical slap. Todd Bishop. He works for my landlord." "You know him?" Miller's eyes sharpened. Yes. He's the landlord's nephew. He handles maintenance for the building. He fixed my sink last month." My mind flashed to Todd. He was quiet, thin, and always seemed to be looking at something just over my shoulder. He made my skin crawl. I had complained to my mother about him once, and she told me I was being dramatic. "He has a key," I whispered. "He must have a master key for all the apartments." "We think he used a copy," Miller said. "We have security footage from the hallway. He didn't use a master key. He used a single copied key. He let himself in. The neighbor in 3A heard a crash. That must have been him using the crowbar on your bedroom door, not the front door." My blood ran cold. "My bedroom door, why?" "We're not sure. But he's in custody. We found him 2 blocks away, just watching. He had a crowbar in his backpack. When we ran his name, your address popped." My heart was pounding. It didn't make sense. Why would Todd break into my apartment but not steal anything? Why break down my bedroom door? "I need to see it," I said. Miller hesitated. "Ms. Larson, the forensics team is—" "I don't care. It's my home. I need to see what he did." He saw the look on my face. He sighed. "Okay, we've dusted for prints. You can look. But don't touch anything. Stay with me." He led me into the lobby and up the 3 flights of stairs. The hallway smelled like old carpet and dust. We got to my door. Unit 3B. The wood around the lock was completely splintered. It was broken, hanging open. But Miller was right. The real damage was inside. He pushed the door open, and I saw my home. It was wrong. He hadn't tossed the place. My couch was straight. My TV was there. But there was an energy in the room that was full of anger. He was in my bedroom. I said, walking slowly down the short hall. The door to my bedroom was destroyed. The frame was split, and the door was hanging off one hinge. He had forced his way in. I stepped inside, and my breath caught in my chest. He hadn't stolen my jewelry. He hadn't touched my laptop. He had flipped over every photograph, one by one. Every picture I had was now face down on my dresser. A picture of me and my friends from college graduation. A picture of me with my grandmother, who passed away 2 years ago. A picture of me on a hiking trip last fall. All of them face down. It was a violation. It was so personal. It was a message. "What is this?" I whispered. I felt sick. Why would he do this? "I don't know." "Ms. Larson," Miller said softly. He looked angry now. 2. This wasn't a robbery." "No," I said. It wasn't. Then I saw it. On my nightstand. Next to the photos he had turned over was a single, plain white envelope. My name wasn't on it. Officer, I said, pointing. Miller nodded. He pulled a glove from his pocket, put it on, and picked up the envelope. He opened the flap. Inside was a single piece of white paper, folded once. He unfolded it. It was a typed message. Just one sentence. Tell your mother the truth always finds its way home. I read the words over and over. Asterisk. Tell your mother the truth always finds its way home. Asterisk. This wasn't about me. This was about my mother. Todd Bishop wasn't a random creep. He was connected to her. Ms. Larson. Miller said, his voice quiet. What does this mean? What truth? I stared at the note. My mother's whisper at the cafe. Asterisk. Go change her locks. Asterisk. She wasn't trying to lock me out. She was scared. She was afraid of something in my apartment. She sent Leo to get something. But Todd Bishop, the man with the creepy eyes, got there first. He wasn't there to steal. He was delivering a message. And the photos? He turned the photos over. He was telling me that my life, my world, was not safe. He was telling me that this secret, whatever it was, could destroy it. My mother's urgency at the cafe wasn't about controlling me. It was raw panic. She knew this man. She knew about this note. Abigail, Officer Miller said, pulling me from my thoughts. I think I know, I whispered. My mother's in trouble, and she just dragged me into it. The police taped my door, but I couldn't stay there. Not with Grandma's photo face down and that note in the air. I called Clara. Said there'd been a break-in. She told me to come over. All night I replayed everything the cafe. The lights. To the note. Tell your mother the truth always finds its way home. What truth? At dawn. I checked my phone. 9 missed calls. 7 from Mom. 1 from Leo. 1 unknown. A voicemail from Officer Miller. Ms. Larson. We traced a $5,000 payment to Todd Bishop. It came from an account under Eleanor Larson. Mamo says, maintenance? We think your mother hired him. The phone slipped from my hand. Mom had paid the man who broke in. The locksmith story was a lie. She'd sent Leo to distract me. Todd got there first. But maybe he'd turned on her. I remembered the attic. The box labeled Dad's business files. My name on forged deeds and offshore accounts my parents using my identity to hide money. I'd taken photos and buried the memory. Now it all made sense. They knew. They wanted those files. I called Miller. My voice was calm now. Yes. Officer, I know what he was looking for. And I have it. By nightfall, I'd replaced the locks and texted my mother dinner. 7. No games. Her reply came fast. Fine. Be ready for the truth. When she arrived, immaculate as always, her eyes went straight to the new lock. What did you do? I changed the locks. You shouldn't have involved the police. She said, you shouldn't have hired a criminal. Her lees unraveled. She admitted Todd was meant to retrieve the papers. When I mentioned the forged accounts, her mask cracked. I was protecting you, she said. No. You were protecting him. She threatened to destroy my life if I didn't hand over the photos. I hit record on my phone and let her talk every word of manipulation, every threat. Finally, I told her, "You used my name to hide crimes. That's identity fraud." "Mom." Her fury turned to fear. "What have you done?" "I stopped being your pawn," I said. She left with one last line. "You were always a mistake." The silence after was heavy. I pressed stop. Recording 01. The next morning, I brought everything: the folder, the photos, the note, the recording to Officer Miller. He called it a complete case. I was the victim, not the suspect. Weeks later, headlines broke: Denver couple charged with fraud and identity theft. Daughter cleared. My father resigned. My mother vanished. Leo texted that I'd ruined them. I didn't reply. Months later, the trial ended. They pled guilty. I was free. At dinner with Clara, she toasted to freedom and to never apologizing for protecting yourself. I said, that night, I mailed the final document, the original trust, to the DA. No revenge, just release. As sunlight filled my kitchen, I whispered, "This ends here." For the first time, my world felt clean, and it was finally mine.